Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.
Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. I want to focus tonight, viewers, on Assam's man of the moment, Health Minister Dr. Himanta Sharma and his team, who has built up a rather enviable medical infrastructure in Assam in a matter of about 2 weeks to fight the deadly coronavirus or COVID-19. Like a man possessed, Dr. Himanta Sharma, or HBS as he is called, went about his task with breakneck speed and military precision. When he began, there was not a single COVID-19 positive case in the state, but his aim was to make Assam ready to be able to fight the disease in case it comes. Now, Assam's COVID positive tally is more than 24, 27 to be precise. Many are at the quarantine centers. Yet, there is no panic whatsoever because the medical personnel, starting from the doctors, nurses, paramedics, including ambulance drivers and others, both in the public and private sector, are fully geared up and motivated. Before anyone could think the Sorochaja Athletic Stadium was converted into a 1,000-bed quarantine center with a huge tented accommodation coming up almost overnight. Medical colleges being converted into exclusive COVID hospitals, with existing patients shifted to private hospitals with whom MOUs have been signed to look after all other patients with payment from the state. These are, of course, some of the measures. And yes, the minister and his deputy, along with top health officials, visiting each and every hospital where COVID patients were admitted, gave a sense of reassurance to the frontline medical workers. Several questions arise. Had this infrastructure not been put in place, what could have been the situation in Assam? There could have been panic. This is one of the view. And are there lessons to be learned from the Assam example in the rest of the Northeast? And is there now a need to put in place permanent healthcare infrastructure in Assam in a much greater scale? To discuss the subject, I'm joined tonight by Principal Secretary Health, Government of Assam, Samir Sinha. Dr. Subhas Khanna, a reputed surgeon and head of the Swagat Super Speciality Hospital in Guwahati, is also with me. From Shillong, I'm joined by Patricia Mukim, editor of the Shillong Times, a well-known columnist. In Dibrugarh, I have the principal of the Assam Medical College, Dr. H.K. Goswami. And also joining me is Dr. Nivedita Barthakur, a health policy expert who works closely with the Assam Health Department and the Assam Health Ministry. Before we begin the discussion, let's listen in to what Assam Health Minister Dr. Himanta Sharma has been saying in the course of the preparedness in the last 2 weeks or so.
Fortunately, in Assam, so far we have tested large number of people, but every result has come out negative. First of all, as of now, we are increasing testing laboratory, and we are testing any people who is showing even slightest symptom. Lora Swali ahise, Deutak mak aru eto family to daitto, je Lora Janok 14 din, horror kunubata rumot, teo quarantine kori rokha. Etia Ohomor pra jiman manu, bahirot thake, jua 17, 18, 19, 20, maximum manu Guwahatileke ghuri ahise, Ohomoleke ghuri ahise. In order to see the status of preparedness in Dibrugarh, today we are coming here. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. we will start lockdown, which will continue up to 31st March. Honapur, we have a civil hospital that we have decided to convert completely a corona treatment hospital. So in Guwahati, we will going to accommodate people in medical colleges, in MMC, in Sonapur. So Boru Khajait ohakali ratipura 9 bajar পৰা কেম্পৰ কাম আৰম্ভ হ'ব 1000 মানুহ থাকিব পৰা কোৱাৰেণ্টাইন শিবিৰ এটা আমি বনাম যে আমাৰ গুৱাহাটীৰ 100% নাৰ্ছিং হোম এণ্ড প্ৰাইভেট ক্লিনিকেল এষ্টাব্লিছমেণ্ট যিবিলাকে অপাৰেট কৰি আছে they have agreed to take the entire load of Guwahati Medical College. Amar pasta testing labot 1529 ami etialeke test koriboloi সক্ষম হৈছো এখন প্ৰথম পৰ্যায়ৰ যুদ্ধ এটাৰ পৰা আমি পাৰ হৈ যাম so 9th will be a very historical day এটা এই ফাইটত it will be a very remarkable day 9 to 9 তাৰিখ দিনটো আমাৰ কাৰণে অতি গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ মানুহ হ'ব সিদিনাখন হোম কোৱাৰেণ্টাইনৰ পৰা অলমোষ্ট 74,000 মানুহ ৰিলিজ হৈ যাব 14 তাৰিখে যদি আমাৰ লকডাউন খুলি যায় বা 20 তাৰিখে যদি লকডাউন খুলি যায় অসমৰ পৰা বাহিৰত কিমান অসমীয়া ল'ৰা বাহিৰত আছে আৰু সকলো যদি একেলগে আহি যায় যোনদিনাখনে বিমান ৰেল এবিলাক খুলে সকলো যদি একেদিনাই আহি যায় আমি তেওঁলোকক কোৱাৰেণ্টাইন কৰিব পাৰিম নে নাই but for temporary purpose we may require a inner line permit kind of situation even for the permanent resident of Assam.
All right, that was Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, the Assam Health Minister. In the last 15 days or so, he has been touring the length and breadth of Assam. And these are some of the important statements that he has made, giving an example of the preparedness, the planning that went into the level of preparedness that we have seen today. So today, when we have 27 positive cases and several people are on quarantine, I think the medical personnel in the state is going about their task rather smoothly. Our panelists, except Patricia Mukim in Shillong, our panelists are very, very familiar with the preparedness. So I'd like to go straight to you, Ms. Patricia Mukim in Shillong. Sitting at a distance from Assam, Patricia, how do you look at the preparedness in Assam? And, as somebody who is closely observing the entire northeastern region, are you reassured that, Northeast, if they want, they can really show the way?
I have been following the news, especially your channel, to find out what exactly Assam is doing, because Assam has always been the example. And I have seen the kind of dedication that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has been taking up this case with, and how he's traveled the length and breadth of Assam, almost breathlessly and with so much of seriousness, that I'm wondering if our own health ministers in every state of this region should not be following his example. They should be on their feet. They should not be just, talking to TV channels, but they should be up and going and visiting the districts to see the preparedness everywhere. I hope that the health ministers of other states are also following this good example, because this is what a health minister should be doing. He is on top of things. We can see that. And this is to be appreciated, really.
All right, I'll come back to you, Kongpat. Dr. Subhas Khanna, now you see, we have all seen, you are very much a part of it, because the entire private sector, you were present in that meeting where the MOU was signed. You were part of the planning with between the interface between the government and the private sector hospitals in the state. Now my question is, what kind of a confidence, you are yourself a surgeon, you are in this field for more than 35 years. My question, Dr. Subhas Khanna, what kind of a confidence does it give when you see that your state is geared up to deal with such kind of a crisis which the medical world has not encountered before? And we are not particularly, the entire Northeast doesn't particularly have the best of healthcare facilities. So in this backdrop, when you see that Assam is well prepared, geared up, the government is there to take the issue extremely, extremely seriously, what kind of a confidence, what kind of a morale boost does it give to the medical fraternity, particularly the frontline medical workers?
Dear Wasbir, thank you very much for inviting me to this program.
Thanks for coming.
I bring greetings and best wishes on this World Health Day to all people, all sections of the society. I know we are passing through a very bad phase. A horrible pandemic is sweeping across all the continents. But when about 2 weeks back, we were all having nightmares. We were thinking that our ministry and our Honorable Health Minister should not repeat what mistakes Italy and the West has done. He invited us and took our opinion and comments. Although we gave various suggestions, but the fact remains that he has already done a lot of groundwork. He had already worked out his strategy. When I said we will need temporary hospitals, we cannot look at small hospitals, 50-bedded, to manage our COVID patients. The first aim of our Honorable Health Minister, Dr. Himanta Sharma, was not to infect and spread the infection to all parts of the region. So that was the main aim. That's why he did not bother to go take up all the private hospitals, by which we would have spread the infection to all these hospitals and to all the paramedical staff of the hospitals.
Absolutely, because we have seen the Wockhardt Hospital in Mumbai where 26 nurses have been affected. That is a private hospital. I'll come back to you, Dr. Khanna, and Nivedita, I'll come back to you, Dr. Nivedita Borthakur, because you are very, very familiar with the entire process. Let me quickly go to Dibrugarh, where I have Dr. H.K. Goswami, a very senior medical professional who is the principal of the Assam Medical College in Dibrugarh. Dr. Goswami, you know, Dibrugarh Medical College is also today an exclusive COVID hospital. You know, I mean, now my question is, we are discussing about the preparedness. Now the same question goes to you. What kind of a confidence does it give to a frontline medical worker, medical professional like you, to see the entire government behind you, to see the government taking care of the medical professionals, whether it is equipments, whether it is the moral boosting, whether it is the safety, whether it is the patient care, so on and so forth. So what are your opening remarks?
Yeah, good evening. Right at the outset of the outbreak, what we have done, we have immediately separated the OPD for fever clinic, fever, cough, and respiratory symptom, to a different unit, done with different building, because luckily we had one new building. It converted into that. And then what we used to do, we started screening the patients who were coming with the fever, cough, and other respiratory symptoms. Other patients are being looked after in the OPD, but we started seeing these patients in our new fever clinic. Then after the screening, our workers, frontline workers, this fever clinic is a completely sealed clinic because there's a communication system is there. Patient won't come into contact with the treating doctors.
Right.
We have got a communication sound system. We used to screen, and if someone is suspected, we have immediately built up a 18-bedded active isolation ward. That is 9 for suspected patients, 9 for your confirmed cases. And after doing the testing, lucky enough till up to this point of time, we haven't got a single positive case.
Okay.
We have done up to this point of time around the screening of 961 patients. Then total number 113 samples have been taken, 6 are awaited, but no samples.
But you are completely, Doctor.
Honorable Health Minister.
Yes, Dr. Goswami, but you may not be having a single positive patient,
yeah.
Dr. Goswami, but you are fully geared up. You are fully geared up, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, we fully get in between our Honorable Health Minister, Himanta Sharma.
Right.
Yeah.
I will come back to you, Dr. H.K. Goswami. Please be there. Dr. Nivedita Borthakur, you know, I mean, you have been monitoring the situation. You know, forget about India. India is a huge country. We are very remotely located. You have been keeping a close watch on what is happening in Italy, what is happening in Spain, what is happening in UK and the US. Now, you are yourself closely involved with the Assam Health Ministry. My question is, tell us, you know, what went on when you sat down preparing, brainstorming, and preparing to face this eventuality, face the pandemic?
I think I'd like to make 2 points here. One was it's almost akin to going to a war. I mean, people have compared this with World War II, for example.
Yeah.
When you have a general who is so well prepared, so full of confidence, he generates a lot of confidence in others as well. And I think our Honourable Minister has been able to do that. For all of us in the front line, people who are working at the back end, everyone, he's generated so much confidence. It's almost like Winston Churchill in a way, if I may compare him with. And the second was everyone was very open-minded about learning. So even today we are learning about what is going on, what are the best practices. For example, the Principal Secretary, I mean, every day he will call me up and he'll say, Nivedita, can you please find out what is happening in the US, what is happening in the UK, for example. So we are open to learning. We are learning from others, not only in India, but also outside.
I think that's a very interesting point that Dr. Nivedita is making. The Assam government is also through people like Nivedita, policy experts like Nivedita is keeping track of what is happening in some of the worst COVID-affected nations. What are the best practices? What are the mistakes that need not be repeated? Patricia Mukim, I think this is the way to go, isn't it? Northeast, we can say comparatively we are lucky because your state, Meghalaya, doesn't have a single case. For example, Sikkim doesn't have a single case. Now Manipur, Tripura, Arunachal, Assam, we have cases. But Meghalaya and Sikkim doesn't have cases, as well as Nagaland doesn't have a single case. So, but can we be complacent? Really, we cannot be complacent, and we have to follow the Assam model, isn't it? Be prepared for the worst.
Yes. We have to. And in fact, I must say to the credit of our state government as well, that they have been very, very, proactive in also calling for this curfew right from the 20th of March. Before the Janta curfew of the Prime Minister, we had already called a curfew from the 20th, and it's been going on like that. We have 2 days of curfew and 1 day free for people to get their essentials. So in a sense, I see that there's a lot of collaboration between civil society, government, police. This is for the first time that you're seeing the government really proactive. And I think we should also all take a cue from Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma and how he's going about things. There are some people, of course, who are genuinely concerned about our preparedness in terms of equipment.
Yeah.
What about our PPEs? What about our respirators? What about the masks and the what you call the gloves and all that? And now in Meghalaya, the government has said that everyone who goes out should wear a mask.
Right.
So there are groups now that are just stitching these masks.
Right.
Yeah. So in every way, we are trying our best.
There is
but
mobilization.
I think there is still a lot to be done.
Absolutely. There is mobilization in many ways, like the local people, local organizations are stitching masks and all. That mobilization is necessary. That enterprise is necessary. I think Meghalaya has also been able to show to some extent that kind of enterprise mobilization. Now, Dr. Subhas Khanna, my question is, I was asking, I have not yet got the answer to that question. Suppose we were half as ready as what we are today in Assam. We already have 27 cases. And we don't want any more cases, God forbid. We let us stay at this. Now the point is, Dr. Subhas Khanna, suppose we were not prepared to this level. Do you think the medical professional, particularly the frontline workers, would have got that much of confidence? What do you think? Because do you think there would have been panic, there would have been things would have gone a little haywire, oh, what to do now, this kind of confusion all around. Do you think that could have been the scenario?
I fully agree with you. I think when our health minister took over this challenge, his aim were many. The first thing what he did was to infuse confidence in all healthcare workers.
Yeah.
Because all of us, we were scared that there are 20% of the healthcare workers are dying in the Western countries, which are very well equipped compared to us. What will happen to us? So the first thing he did was to infuse confidence. Unlike any other, I won't say any other leader, I must say that all the leaders, all the hospital owners, all the hospital principals, all the professors and HODs were looking at a leader to take them out of this situation. So there came the role of our honorable the so-called HBS. So
Yeah.
he came forward
Right.
with a principle. He infused confidence in
so
all
that
of us.
confidence was given. There was
Yeah.
somebody from the government, a senior leader, leading from the front, giving confidence. That matters a lot. Boost up the morale of the frontline medical workers, especially in this kind of a pandemic that is extremely virulent and that can extremely infectious. So in this kind of a scenario, confidence matters. I'm now joined by Mr. Samir Sinha, the Principal Secretary Health, Government of Assam. Samir Sinha, welcome. We have named today's show Himanta's Corona War. The Assam Health Minister and his team, and you are a very important part of the team. And in fact, every kind of you are almost working from a war room kind of a situation. Now, we were discussing, Samir, as to how this preparedness helped today. See, when you prepared, the COVID was not even very active in the country. Forget about Assam. There was not even a single case. 15 days into your preparedness, still there was not a single case in Assam. But Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma and all of you who are part of his core team, you went ahead with single-minded determination. Come what may, we will be fully prepared to gear up with the situation. So today, we have 27 cases. We don't want any more cases. We are not saying that just because we are prepared, we should have more cases to deal with this. That is not the thing. But today, are you a satisfied man? And can you tell the viewers what went on in this preparedness? Nivedita has, of course, given us a perspective. Let us hear from you.
Yeah, I do not know where to begin from. And
begin from maybe 15 days ago.
15 days ago. Of course, when we heard about COVID for the last 45 days or so,
Yeah.
Many steps were taken. In fact, I earlier appeared on the show and we have already briefed the viewers about the many steps, very proactive steps taken by Government of Assam under our Health Minister and Honorable Health Minister. And in fact, we started with screening, quarantine facilities, isolation wards, airport, railway station, tracing people, tracking people. Many steps were already we have taken. Now that from 31st, things have taken a different turn. And now the challenges are identifying the COVID hospital. We all know that we were one of the first states to have identified 5 centers, 3 medical colleges of repute, Guwahati Medical College to start with, Silchar Medical College and Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh, to cater to different geographies, and plus 2 additional hospitals, SM, our MMCH hospital, and also our Sonapur district hospital. So idea was that COVID patient should be confined to these large hospitals.
Right.
We do not know how the situation is going to evolve, and but we need to prepare and prepare well. Second was preparing the team of doctors, paramedics, nurses, everybody down to sweepers, everybody who is part of the team. They should be imparted training and rigorous, intensive training.
Now,
please.
Now, what is significant, Mr. Samisena, is that you have earmarked a team of doctors in the exclusive COVID hospitals who will be the first set of doctors who will work for 7 days and then again go for quarantine. So it is a clockwork precision, because I understand that today when we have 27 patients in the last couple of days, first set of doctors have already gone for quarantine, isn't it?
Yes, in fact, this is some kind of a mandatory condition. That after 7 days of work, you need to quarantine yourself for 14 days so that you can come back, and in case if you are tested positive, then obviously you are quarantined for further days of another 14 days. So we have already identified Taj for Himanta, for example, and all the good hotels. The deputy commissioners have done a good job in identifying good places for identifying such centers.
So those good places are in the other districts as well? Hotels and all?
Yes. All the districts we have identified, and we are catering to the requirements of every health worker we are not confining ourselves just to the doctors. Everybody we are trying to take care, because everybody is an equal partner and teammate in this war.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Mr. Samisena, and talk about, a lot of people want to know whether we have the equipments now. There were a lot of shortages, or not just in India, all around the world. What is the position? And we'll get an update on the COVID-19 situation in Assam from you in a short while. But let me quickly go to Dr. Goswami in Dibrugarh. Dr. Goswami, now you are in a pretty comfortable situation because Dibrugarh Medical College, you don't have a single COVID positive patient in and around your area. That's a good thing. But what is the treatment protocol? Is something crystallized? Because last time when we talked 1 week ago with another panel on this program, the treatment protocol was somewhat hazy, somewhat vague. Do you have a slightly better idea now as to how to treat? Because a lot of people are saying a lot of things. Some parts in the world, in other countries, they're saying that they're treating with azithromycin, they're treating with chloroquine, they're treating with, all kinds of things. So is this safe to take these names?
Yeah, if somebody is having a bacterial infection like with the throat, because the azithromycin is an antibiotic, is given for the secondary bacterial infection. Once somebody is infected with the virus, then because just to combat with the secondary bacterial infection, go for the antibiotic. But dihydroxychloroquine, it is controversial. Some people say it's good, it's a prophylactic medicine. Some people say once you become sick, then you give the medicines. And then some people say, no, it's not required. Some people used to say that it's an immunosuppressant drug. But I had a discussion with a lot of people. They told, no, in the higher doses of dihydroxychloroquine, we might get some amount of immunosuppression, but the low dose is not. But still it is not equivocally accepted that dihydroxychloroquine should be given. But since you already know that we don't have a positive case, we haven't started in the dihydroxychloroquine.
But do you have Dr. Goswami? Yeah. Do you have any advice? Do you have any advisory? Do you have any advisory from the Union Health Ministry or the ICMR or WHO as to how to go about? Suppose you have COVID-19 patients, what is the treatment regime? Are you in a position to tell us for a layman, like me?
See, it's a viral infection. No proper antiviral treatment is there. We have to treat the patient symptomatically. Someone is having infection, you give antibiotic. ICMR has given a guideline that you can give dihydroxychloroquine in a dose, like 1 BD first day, then 1 tablet once in a week for another 7 weeks. That's a guideline. But since we don't have a case, we haven't tried yet, even officially in the medical college.
Right.
Some doctors are taking, of course, and their own. But we haven't advised. We haven't advised.
I think we cannot advise because at least there is a case.
But we haven't
there is a case of a doctor, who has, faced fatal consequences apparently of taking medication by himself. So that is something which I'll come back to you, Dr. Goswami. I'll have to go for a break, but Nivedita Bhattakur, now in this kind of a battle, why do you think, developed nations like Italy, like the US, UK, things have spiraled out of control? So India as a whole, Assam we are doing well, but our country is doing very well indeed in trying to contain. We have not been able to flatten the curve yet, but I don't think we are doing too badly either.
Well, I think there are several reasons. One is the population mix in many of these countries. For example, Italy has a much older population, and as we know, the fatality in older population is much higher. Second is, I think everyone underestimated the impact of this. So we were much more ahead of the curve in terms of isolation, in terms of social isolation, in terms of this lockdown. Even now in England, for example, people are still going to the pubs, still going to the parks. So there is every chance of infection being spread that way. US was similar in some sense. And I think closely populated cities are much higher. I mean, you see even in India, Mumbai has a different trajectory than, for example, Assam, for example, where we are much more semi-urban, rural. Even Guwahati is much more spread out. So I think all these things play a part, and of course the will of the government to take actions.
Absolutely. I'll go for a short break. When I come back, I'll go straight to Patricia Mukim in Shillong and Mr. Samir Sinha and all other panelists and try to discuss various aspects of this preparedness in our bid to win the battle against COVID-19. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Ms. Patricia Mukim, what are some of the things, what are 2 to 3 things that comes to your mind that you can pick up from the Assam example and, replicate it maybe in Meghalaya and other parts of the northeastern region? What are 2 or 3 things that immediately comes to your mind that can be replicated?
Well, you see, my way of looking at COVID-19 is that none of the governments have a standard operating procedure. It's a completely new thing. It's taken us all by surprise. But I think we've learned from the other countries not to take things for granted. So we've started with this isolation, social isolation, as they call it, the social distancing. And I think that helps a lot. And if we can really implement this, it should stand us in good stead. Then there are other things such as preparedness in terms of equipment. I think that is a very, very important thing. And it gives a lot of confidence to our health practitioners, to our paramedics, if they know that they have the equipment, that they can be protected, and that there is a strong force behind them, that they are not going to be blamed. In this country, we have this penchant for blaming people, blaming establishments. I think this is the first time that people are coming together and not blaming anyone for anything, but they're all very positively trying to contribute. So that is something that we have to learn from Assam. And maybe from the other states. I think even Nagaland is very prepared, is very strict in terms of implementing their curfew, because you know how we are. Most people don't want to stay indoors unless there is an enforcement of that curfew.
Absolutely.
So
I think lockdown.
That is one, and then the most.
Yes, carry on. Yeah.
Hello. No. So what we need to learn from Assam is the leadership. I haven't seen this kind of leadership by a health minister ever. So all kudos to Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. I hope he keeps well and he stays ahead of things and he leads from the front so that others can learn from him how to do things, how to go about putting things together. Assam is a large state with a huge population. And you have many more cases there.
Right. Absolutely. Very well said there, Ms. Patricia Mukim. Leadership is something that everyone has to learn, not just the Northeast perhaps, but many of the states in the country. And I have no hesitation in saying today that Maharashtra, going by television and other media reports, Maharashtra could have done much better. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that. Samir Sinha, when you are preparing, when you are going about your preparedness in a very routine manner, but with full force and without any kind of compromise, that time, you didn't have, as I said in the beginning, you didn't have a single case. But today, you have 27 cases and this has become a reality. Although we don't want, who knows, it might go up by a few more. But the question is, what is the change in strategy now? What are you doing about the preparedness and about dealing with this disease now that it has become real in Assam?
Yes, but as I said, that the situation been evolving and evolving very fast. On 31st, we didn't have a case, and on between 7 days, today is 7th, we have 27 cases, positive cases in Assam. So good that we were prepared, and in fact we were ready to handle this situation, and we are changing our gears also going forward under the leadership of the health minister, who is there since morning till late in the night. We are all there in kind of a war room in National Health Mission. So the most important task before us is that anybody who is declared because positive to track and trace every single contact of any person who has come in contact with the positive cases. This is going to be a huge gigantic task. But fortunately, what has happened that because of the lockdown, we can always encircle the area. We can always, the IDSP teams are working overtime to find out who, suppose this morning we got a case from Dhubri district. We have been able to kind of find out all the X number of N number of contacts the person came in contact with in the last 10 days or so, 12 days or so. So this is going to be a challenge. Then the second challenge is going to be the testing, testing in various labs. We have already got 5 labs, and we are one of the first few states where many labs were accredited by ICMR.
Yeah.
And except Tezpur, almost all places are covered now, with Barpeta joining the league.
Right. Now, can we get an idea of how many tests have been conducted so far in Assam overall?
Yeah, we have conducted more than 2,000 cases so far in all the 6 centers. Of course, some centers are new. Like Silchar is new, Barpeta is new. They have done a fewer number of cases. Guwahati and ICMR Lahowal, they have done the maximum number of cases. Also because we were supporting other states wherever possible. Like Silchar was supporting, Silchar is still supporting Mizoram, and Lahowal is supporting Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. So making available the test kits. Going for more and more tests of the likely contacts and people who have come in contact with these likely cases.
Okay.
And subsequently, immediate shifting of such people to quarantine and isolation facilities which have been put up. And then continuous training of our medical and health staff, because as I told, that after 7 days of duties, they will be put in quarantine. They will be put
that is happening. That is already happening.
The second team should be ready. The third team should be ready. Fourth team should be ready.
Now, very quickly, before I come to Dr. Subhas Khanna, Mr. Samit Sinha, a couple of days ago, the health minister announced that, around 600 odd final year Guwahati Medical College and all medical colleges put together, about 600 to 700 students, final year medical students, they will be inducted and given 1 week exclusive intensive training to deal with COVID. Is it over?
Yeah. That is, today is the 6th day actually of the training. And this training is kind of an ongoing training. This will continue and more.
What will happen to these boys and girls? Will they be inducted? Can we say that they will be recruited by the government of Assam?
Yeah, I'll briefly explain.
Very quickly.
So the teams are being led by people from medicine department and also the Department of Pulmonary Medicine. And thereafter, they are supported by clinical and other clinical staff members, and also all these PG students and also the final year MBBS students. So this is kind of because we need more and more teams, because we need 4 teams for 1 week.
Right.
3 teams for doing the round the clock and 1 team in reserve. So all these 4 teams will actually retreat into quarantine.
In simple terms, these 700 doctors for final year students, can we say, will it be correct to say that they will be, or they have already been recruited, given jobs by the government of Assam? Is that correct?
Yes, by all means. We have already done. Yes.
So they have already recruited. They technically they have already considered. We can say that we have got 700 additional doctors in Assam at this point in time.
Yes.
We'll come and elaborate on that.
Yeah.
But doctor, I'll come back to you, Samit Sinha. Please bear with me. Dr. Subhas Khanna. Now we know that total of 2,000 tests have been conducted. Now there is an argument. There's an argument, I mean, it's not me saying this. There is an argument, a lot of people think that, just because we have very few tests conducted, only 2,000 in a population of 3 crore, otherwise the number of COVID patients could have been much higher. Do you buy this argument?
I think it's partly true. We should see, we have won a part 1 of the battle by restricting the patients. So what Korea did, they did testing on all the patients. So if we can increase the number of testing facilities, we could go to the next level of testing. Today we are doing sputum and mucus tests, which takes about 6 to 8 hours. If you can go for IgG, IMM, the antibody test, which will be, the results will be there in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So by that we can cover a lot of population, and this should be our next step, I feel. So I will not comment on if we would have tested more, we would have got more positive, but it's partly true.
But tests is an important element in this kind of a situation. That's what you were saying.
At this stage, it is more important because we have done a pre-operative preparation. We are almost doing a surgical strike. Our health minister has prepared a surgical strike. So right now, we should be going for further and more testing so that we can contain it. Otherwise, the graph will, the curve will start rising.
Dr. Goswami, do you agree?
Yes.
The number of tests and the vis-a-vis the number of positive patients. The more the test, the more numbers will come out. The less the test, the less numbers will be there.
Now, it might come, but government has been trying to include more and more number of people into the trap, into the test schedule. And then the number of, we have done the test over here in Assam Medical College with this last span 113. I have screened already nearly 1,000 people. But after the screening, 113 tests also, rigorous screening. Our doctors have been working 24/7. So then we have got only 113 for the case test positive. I mean the patients fit for testing, and then they all have come out to be
Obviously,
negative.
yes.
Of course, Dr. Khanna has told might be partially true also, because if you include more and more people, some more, a very meager number percentage might increase. But up to this point of time, we have been trying to include as many as people, persons possible to bring into our testing facility. That's what I feel in that way.
All right. Okay. Dr. Nivedita, I'm coming to you, Ms. Patricia Mukim, in a minute. Dr. Nivedita, now the issue is, how to go about the issue of medical infrastructure. Now, suddenly the quarantine facility is necessary. A stadium has been converted into a quarantine center. You require an exclusive COVID hospital. You, pass the responsibility to the private hospital so that you can have the medical colleges at your disposal. What is the lesson learned? Now, I'm taking this question to Dr. Samir Sinha as well. What is the lesson learned? Do you think that we need, we need a very, very much more robust medical infrastructure, particularly in far-flung states like the Northeast, including Assam?
I think we've never denied that our spend per GDP is very low or quite low in health. And I don't think even our health minister, in every budget, he's spoken about that, for example. In the central government also, there's much awareness that our health spend is not that high.
Yeah.
What we have been trying to do, and I think I can speak honestly, is that we've been trying to ramp up. And this, every crisis can be turned into an opportunity. And I think for Assam especially, this has been an opportunity because it has made us look inwards to ourselves to see what do we have, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, where do we need to fill the gap. Now, it remains to be seen, and I'm sure we'll be doing a good job of it, of trying to plug those gaps going forward, because it's been a massive, massive learning curve for all of us in the health sector, whether it's the private sector, whether it's the government sector like Mr. Sinha and us. I think all of us have learned a lot of things during this crisis.
Absolutely. Mr. Samir Sinha, on a very lighter note, we just look at the visuals on the screen. The food laid out, people in full protective gear looking at them. I think, the health professionals like you looking after the health department, you are the principal secretary. I think they have also learned a bit of food and beverage manager, how to manage food and beverage distribution. I think, look at that. Look at that. I think this is one of the best pictures that I have seen, because there are already complaints from many states that, very bad food is being given. But look at the Assam, I think this is better food than what most of us have been eating in the last couple of days.
Strawberries
Strawberries. Samir, you have to explain. Where are you getting the strawberries from?
In fact, the deputy commissioners, as I told, I repeat, they have been doing a yeoman job. And in fact, there is a separate, you give me some 1 minute time to explain all
please
this.
Go ahead.
So the deputy commissioners, there is a WhatsApp group, and every deputy commissioner is trying to imbibe and learn from another deputy commissioner. This is something which is very, very remarkable. So the food is also, in fact, it started, somebody started taking interest. This quarantine centers should not be kind of, should be seen as a kind of a punishment quarantine center. People should volunteer to go to in case if required, and that is why we are trying to make the quarantine centers as attractive as possible, so that people who require to be quarantined, yes, they should come forward, cooperate, volunteer to be there in the quarantine center. So this is one aspect where the deputy commissioner should be this should be complemented for. Coming to Dr. Nivedita's question on GDP, in fact, the world over, the GDP, the health budget normally veers around between 1% to 2%. In Assam, we have been spending good 4% to 5% of our budget. Many medical colleges have come up. In fact, if, all these district hospitals been upgraded, sub-divisional hospitals been upgraded. In the midst of Corona war, last month, just 15 days back, the Difu Medical College got its accreditation from Medical Council of India, the 7th medical college that we have in Assam now. Within a very short time, in fact, many 7-8 medical colleges are under a kind of very, very
and they have come out to be extremely handy now.
Yes. So in fact, and I must tell that under the Honorable Health Minister, he gave us a task. In fact, the team GMCS, Guwahati Medical College, need to be complemented within a short time of 10 days. They have been. We only had 150 ICU beds with ventilator support and oxygen. Dr. Khanna would also agree with me. Within 8 days, 9 days, we have been able to put up, because there is a specific requirement for respiratory care for patients fighting COVID. So 134 number of ICU beds are available within a 10 days time. And there is hardly a day when this ventilator support system is kind of not being planned in various health facilities.
Okay, only because I'm running short of time, Mr. Samisena. Can we say now that we have sufficient PPEs, ventilators, and all the required? And is there a continuous inflow into the state?
See, as far as there were two requirements where we needed to work really hard on, and we've been working. One was PPE and what they call moon suits, and then the second is the N95 mask. We are kind of working.
What about ventilators?
Ventilators also, they are trickling in.
So they're trickling in.
Yes. So we have worked very hard, and we would like to, through your show, we would like to assure, Honorable Health Minister has assured in many fora that no medical personnel, right from doctors to nurses to paramedic to sweeper, nobody should, to ambulance staff. Everybody is being provided with PPE, and we assure.
Okay, are you bringing them by special flights, or how are they coming in?
We have special flights. We have got a chartered flight, sometimes wherever required. In fact, 2 days back, we required some these testing kits, what they call the RNA extraction kit. That was only available in Calcutta, and we needed them badly. So we use the services of the chartered. In fact, expenses are not an issue in this fight against Corona.
Expenses not an issue in this fight. Now, I'll come back to you, Sambir Sinha, in a minute.
Right.
Ms. Patricia Mukim, your final comments. We have been seeing, I'm sure you have also seen the metropolitan television channels, beaming yesterday some quarantine centers in Maharashtra, somewhere near Mumbai or in Mumbai itself. They were absolutely filthy. The people who were in the quarantine centers, they were themselves sweeping it. There were complaints or allegations that there was absolutely no doctors, nobody was available, there was no food. And now, after the media pressure, these people were sifted out to some other facility. So, if we look at that, if we look at Guwahati, or for that matter, look at the facilities put up by even Meghalaya and Manipur, where that 23-year-old girl is now absolutely corona negative, and the entire state and the chief minister is celebrating. So, and we have seen in Assam, our own chief minister is also, not far behind. He is also, as far as possible, traveling out. So, these kind of a situation, at a time when a lot of people in the northeast are facing racial slurs, but we can live with our head held high, isn't it? We can be on moral high ground that we are doing pretty well.
Yes. Yeah. See, I think Maharashtra was caught quite unawares, and you can see that they are not in a state of preparedness at all. So that is point number one. And the second point is that in the Northeast, there is a different kind of social capital. Just today, for instance, the pastoral center of the Catholic Church in Garo Hills in Tura has given that whole pastoral center with 200 beds to the government to handle COVID cases, if any. You know? So that sort of social capital, I think, is not much there in the rest of the country. I don't know if there is, but I think in the Northeast we do still have a lot of that social capital.
Absolutely.
And that's so important.
That is important, and I think Northeast is showing the way. Dr. Goswami, your final comments. Dr. Goswami.
Yeah. My comment is that, yes, because of the farsightedness on the part of our Honorable Health Minister, we have come up to this stage, because while he came right at the outset, there was not a single case in Assam. But the ministers have told me, principals are, be prepared for 5,000 cases, and be prepared because they would come. So we had prepared accordingly. See, we had only 18 ventilators at that point of time, but now it has gone up to 49 ventilators. We had kept 18 beds,
more
now
than
it has
threefold,
gone up
almost
to
a threefold increase.
248, another 60 beds in standby. Yeah.
I think this is only an example.
Because we have done it because he had the first at this, and he told an account prepare. Yeah, definitely. I must appreciate, definitely, we have, because due honor for him, because he is the leader and he has helped us a lot on and off all the time, and over the phone, over the messages, or in the video conferencing, in connection with the higher officials. It's absolutely very nice. We are pretty happy with that.
Dr. Nivedita, it's a different matter whether we have high quality medical specialists or not, but if you don't prepare, if you don't have the necessary equipments, if you don't have a vision, even your best people can sometimes fail you.
Yes, as I think rightly said from the beginning, that how the leader leads and how the team follows, both are equally important. And I think Team Assam has done extremely well from day one. And you can see Mr. Sinha's face. He's worked day and night. He looks tired, but he's still going on. And I think you can see that in everyone and all of us. As I said, we want to give our best.
Absolutely.
Because as I said, he is, for me, he's Winston Churchill leading us to the war.
Absolutely.
And I think we are ready for the war. The battle is still to be won, but I think we are ready.
Battle is still to be won, but we are ready. Very interesting message there. Dr. Subhas Khanna, did you ever think that there will be a convergence at one day in Assam between the government as well as the private sector, and that, it will be so easy to come up with an MOU like this at the drop of a hat?
Not at all. We have never seen any minister personally calling us up and asking us to join the government. And this was a totally unexpected call from the government. And this is the first time ever it has happened. And I'm sure, although we are in the midst of looming clouds, but there's a silver lining. Our minister is there. And I can assure all the viewers, like the government officials, Mr. Samir Sinha is here, our health minister, all the health officials, the doctors and paramedical staff are all geared up. We will be there for your help, to help you and to help the government till it is required.
Absolutely. Very, very reassuring words coming from a senior medical professional like Dr. Subhas Khanna. Samir, the floor is yours for about 2 minutes.
So, no, in fact, we are very fortunate that the kind of support that the political leadership in the state, Honorable Chief Minister, Sir, and Honorable Health Minister, Sir, in fact, Honorable Health Minister have been leading from the front. And going forward, what is going to be very, very important is tracking and tracing people. So we are in the process of developing, we already have a war room, and we are in the process of developing some kind of big a dashboard.
You are calling it a war room, right?
Yes.
You are calling it a war room. It's not my coinage. Okay.
We are calling it a war room because all of us are working from that NHM third floor headquarter. That is a war room. We have taken 2 more floors, and the first and the second floor. Because in our opinion, this is something which is kind of we need to prepare ourselves for the next 6 months or so.
So next 6 months, you think this fight, the battle has to go on for the next 6 months. That's what you're saying.
And as I told that this particular virus affects the respiratory system where you need a lot of ventilator support. Of course, individual steps are in the offing. I talked about GMCS, principal of AMCS talked about adding ventilator support in Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh. Simultaneously, parallel to this, what we had done was that we had floated one EOI. Based on that, we are putting up prefabricated structure, in fact, in 5 places of Assam. This is an important news for your viewers because these 300-bedded ventilator support facilities would come up in 60 days' time, as per the original
So that's
EOI.
4 hospitals which the health minister was talking about?
Yes, 5 actually.
5 makeshift hospitals,
5,
okay.
These are in...
Has the work order been allocated?
Going to be done maybe today in the evening, tomorrow. It's only a matter of 24 hours.
Is it a well-established big company that is going to set up these hospitals?
Yes.
Okay, so that is good news. Viewers, breaking news is that, those 5 hospitals are indeed coming up, which was the health minister had said. These are 300 bedded with ventilator support. 300 into 5 hospitals. That means we'll have 1,500 beds. And these hospitals, if I recollect the health minister saying, this will be in operation for about 4 to 5 years. Samir.
Yes.
Now, finally, I'll take you to a completely different subject. I've just got about 20 seconds. Has all those Markaz returnees, have they come overground from hiding? What is the latest news?
See, there were 2 lists that were supplied by Government of India, and based on that, we started contacting everybody, and thereafter, almost sizable number of actually we have been able to trace and track and take samples of. Simultaneously, we started, in fact, one of the innovations in Assam was this 104. These call centers, basically caters to maternity and child health. But we started using this, and we got a lot of info. In fact, about 300 people we got info on.
104 doing human service. I'm running absolutely out of time. I'd like to thank each and every single panelist for taking time out in spite of their extremely busy schedule to be on this show tonight and giving as much information as they can to the viewers in this time of crisis. I thank all my panelists for being on the program and the viewers for watching the show. This is not the last word that we are hearing, but we don't need to panic. We need to enforce the lockdown and move ahead as we have been behaving very responsibly in the last couple of days. We hope your cooperation in the days ahead. On this note, I end this edition of Notice Tonight. Good night and goodbye.
Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.